HTV. And I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Weights and Downer. You or someone you know has lost the ability to earn a living because someone put the company interests before their well-being. In times like these, there's one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Weights and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Weights and Downer. Let us fight for your rights.
Well, Katie's knowledge of where colleges are really launched Thibodeau in this game, and they win it over Central Lafourche, advanced to the first round. Central Lafourche will be back in the elimination bracket. So we'll see you again next time. Thank you for joining us on South Louisiana Quiz Bowl. Good night.
Welcome to Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and joining us on this episode is Dr. Piomia Brown, pulmonologist, critical care, and sleep medicine specialist with Terrebonne General Health System. Today, we're going to learn more about her role and the vital services that she's going to provide to our community. Welcome to the show, Dr. Brown.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, let's get started with you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your role at Terrebonne General.
Awesome. So I am a pulmonary critical care and sleep specialist. I'm originally from South Carolina, and I came to Terrebonne General because, number one, so many people raved about the community. And so when I came here after finishing fellowship at LSU in pulmonary and critical care, I wanted to come and join this community because of its warmth, and I'm just happy to be able to provide the services of sleep medicine, pulmonary, and critical care here.
We're so glad to have you. And yes, you're never going to find a better place with food or people.
I hear that.
So let's talk about you a little bit more. Why did you first decide to get into medicine?
Well, I grew up in a community and in a family of educators. My mom, my aunts, my uncles, everyone, they're professors or teachers or principals. And aside from that, I felt that after my father got sick, he became ill, and we did spent a lot of time in the hospitals. I found that the care that he received was beneficial to our family, and I wanted to be able to provide that type of care to other people as nurses and doctors and all members of the healthcare field have provided for my family.
All right. And why did you decide to pursue a career in pulmonology, critical care, and then specialize in sleep medicine?
Well, that actually started in fellowship, or actually residency. I was terrified to be in the ICU, but my first actual rotation in the ICU was the most rewarding part of my time in medicine. The connections that I made with families, the ability to talk to families and help them understand the intensity of their medical history and medical care brought me so much joy and fulfillment. And pulmonary medicine, there's just such amazing pathology and that gratification that you can provide patients to see instant changes in both the ICU and in both pulmonary medicine. And as it pertains to sleep medicine specifically, sleep medicine is kind of an underknown or underrepresented field of medicine that people aren't really aware of its importance. And I wanted to be able to shed light to the community on what sleep medicine actually is. And I know you're probably going to ask me about sleep medicine.
That's my next question. Tell us more about it and how many people are affected by it.
Well, people are affected by sleep, and the numbers and the diagnoses that fall under the umbrella of sleep medicine is really kind of astonishing. Things that we all hear about sleep apnea. So when you're not able to breathe during sleep, that's one of the big things in sleep medicine that people know about. But there's so much more. Insomnia, not being able to fall asleep. Hypersomnia, sleeping way too much and not being able to enjoy your family and your life. Movement disorders in sleep, like restless legs. Dream reenactments. People think, oh, yeah, I've been dreaming about war and I ended up fighting my partners. Well, those are things that we can actually look at, diagnose, and help treat, because sleep affects all of our major organs, all of our daily functioning. And then when you don't have adequate sleep, when your oxygen to your brain and your other organs are not actually being delivered, it's detrimental.
Yeah. So how do you treat sleep disorders?
So depending on what the diagnosis is, we tailor therapy based on that. So what people would generally do, you see a sleep specialist, we talk about the history. We go into detail about, the timing of your sleep, the activities that happen around your sleep. And based on that, we do studies, which could include, number one, just as simple as a diary. Let's keep track of what you're doing when you're sleeping. Sleep studies, you can do them at home or you can do them in the lab, and that will be based on, after we evaluate you, what we would believe would be the best form of diagnosis. We do a sleep study where you literally sleep, we watch you sleep, and then we see what the numbers show. And then we come back and we say, hey, maybe it's medications. There are devices that we use to help give you oxygen and keep your airways open. There are different activities and habits that we change. And those are the ways that we treat sleep disorders.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So let's just change a little bit. What are you most excited about for your career at Terrebonne General?
I'm really excited about the people in the community. I have not experienced such warmth and sense of community since in medical training or even out in practice. The community is so welcoming. The people are genuinely so wonderful, and they appreciate the care that you provide. And this community is so rich in its own culture in itself, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Well, great. And are you accepting new patients in your clinic?
Absolutely. Please come and see us in our clinic. Your primary care doctors specifically, will send referrals, or cardiologists or whomever they deems that it's necessary to be evaluated. They will send referrals to our clinic, and we will happy to get you in quickly as possible.
All right. So you do need a physician referral?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and we're so glad to have you to our community.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Rhonda.
For more information about Dr. Piomia Brown or sleep medicine, visit tghealthsystem.com. I'm your host, Rhonda Alford. Thanks so much for joining us on To Your Health, and we'll see you right back here next week.
What you cooking? Rouse's Markets has quarter loin pork chops value packed $1.67 a pound. That's a savings of $2.32 a pound. Fresh, crisp green cabbage is only 39 cents a pound. That's a savings of 60 cents a pound. A 5-pound bag of Rouse's U.S. #1 red potatoes is on special for $2.99. You save $2.50 a bag. And select cans of Del Monte vegetables are 10 for 10. Save $4.90 when you buy 10 at Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the Saints.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Terrebonne
Terrebonne Parish School District is seeking individuals for the following maintenance positions: licensed plumber, electrician, carpenter, HVAC techs with chiller experience, HVAC techs with general experience. These positions have great work environment, excellent benefits, retirement, and insurance. Apply online at tpsd.org. Terrebonne Parish School District, a great place to work.
There are so many reasons to buy your next new car from A.J. Doman Chevrolet, but don't take our word on it. Hear what our customers have to say.
Recently, I purchased my fourth vehicle from A.J. Doman Chevrolet. Why? Because they build relationships here.
Their service team has kept my vehicles running like new, and their sales team has done things for me that I never expected from a car dealership.
A.J. Doman Chevrolet, serving the area for over 38 years, at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
Weights and Downer. You or someone close to you has just lost a loved one to someone's negligence. How did this happen? And why is it so hard to get information? In times like these, there is one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Weights and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Weights and Downer.
Since 1911, the Pierre Parts Store has been your one-stop shop. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, the Pierre Parts Store has served the community by providing groceries, hardware, home products, and much more, including a full-service lumber yard. Now, we've added the Thibodaux store to the family with the same values and service we've delivered for over 100 years. The Pierre Parts Store and the Thibodaux store, our family serving your family.
Welcome to Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and joining us on this episode is Dr. Jeffrey Rao, a plastic surgeon with Rao Plastic Surgery and Terrebonne General Health System. We're going to be discussing breast cancer awareness today. Welcome to the show, Dr. Rao.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, let's get started with you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your role at Terrebonne General.
All right. I'm a board-certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon here at Terrebonne General and in the community. From here, this is my hometown. I got a couple of young boys and a wife, and got plenty of extracurricular stuff that I do, but a big part of my job is, dealing with breast cancer patients.
Okay. Well, I know you stay busy, but with all that going on. So what is breast cancer awareness, and why is it so important?
So breast cancer awareness, like any month of any kind of awareness, the big things are about focusing, reflecting, and educating on whatever the month is. And breast cancer happens in 1 in 8 women, so it's pretty common. So no matter where you live, where you're from, you're going to be affected by breast cancer. So you need to learn about it. You need to know about it. You need to know what to do, how to prevent it, and that's why it's important.
Okay, so tell us, what are some risk factors that are important to know?
So risk factors include clearly gender. Everybody thinks that that's an obvious one, but there are over 2,000 men that are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. So men, it's mostly self-exam, but it's clearly more common, the majority being women. Self-exam as well as mammograms are very much the indicated thing to do to try to prevent it. But as far as risk factors, you got early onset of menstrual cycles, late onset of your menopause. You got obesity is definitely a big one. There's other ones like genetic factors that are more rare, but there's other ones that are thought to be more important than others, but those are your main ones.
Are there ways to prevent breast cancer?
Yes, and being that obesity is such a big one, you want to clearly, like any other health issue, you want plenty of diet and exercise to minimize that extra weight, because that extra weight is associated with higher estrogen, higher levels of hormones that lead to some of these breast cancers. So I can say for myself, a lot or most of my breast cancer patients are obese or overweight. And it's very clear that weight has a lot to do with it. The other ways to prevent it, once you actually get cancer, is to prevent it early. So screening and detection early is a big deal.
And what age should women start getting breast cancer screenings?
So according to the American Preventative Task Force, the age now is 40. It used to be 50 many years ago. It's moved down to 40, and it's even gotten younger, down to 35 for higher risk patients. So 40 is definitely the latest you should have your first mammogram, and you should also, like I mentioned before, do self-exams, because a lot of cancer is found by the patient themselves.
Right. And how do you help women who do have breast cancer?
So I'm the big part of reconstructing the patient and making them whole by doing all the breast reconstruction surgeries. That's a huge part of it. I also help educate them on a lot of the process of it. That's a big part of my practice, talking with them about all the various things that they'll be going through. And I'm proud to also have been part of a group that started the Bayou Region Breast Cancer Support Group. We meet every month, mostly here locally at the library, and it's a way in which people can get together and connect and support each other in a positive way, unlike a lot of things you may see on the internet. So that's how I've helped probably the most, for sure.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, what are some of the benefits that patients can get from breast reconstruction?
So I tell every person every woman that comes in and says, I feel vain about what I'm going through and trying to reconstruct my breast, it's not about how they look completely. I say that you focus mostly on the long-term effects of what cancer does to you. You don't want to wake up 5 years from now and then look at yourself and see scars that remind you every day that say, I'm a cancer patient, and mentally it beats you up. With the techniques we're able to use, it looks very much normal or close to normal, and you just move about your day, and mentally you've defeated it. So it's more of a confidence thing. It's more of a uplifting thing to make you feel again like a woman.
Well, what techniques do you use?
So the two main techniques are implant reconstruction and tissue flap reconstruction. It's very complex, and you can go into the weeds a lot, but for the majority of patients, since we're able to offer both of those here at Terrebonne General, including every different type of flap you can use, most patients benefit from the flap. It's a little bit more preferred since it's your own tissue, but some patients are great implant candidates also.
Okay, that sounds pretty high tech. Well, how can someone schedule a consult with you?
So they can either call Mary Bird Perkins or they can call my office at 709-0467 or go to the website at raoplastics.com and submit a consult there.
Okay, well, thank you so much for all you're doing for breast cancer patients.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here. For more information about breast cancer awareness and Terrebonne General Health System, visit tghealthsystem.com. Thanks for joining us on To Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and we'll see you right back here next week.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
HTV would like to remember everyone who has gone before us in 2023. Keeping with tradition, we would like to scroll their name in our Year in Review obit program. Help us to remember how special your loved one was by sending us their name and date of passing to obits@htv10.tv. We at HTV recognize that the passing of a loved one fills our hearts with grief. Help us reflect on those who've paved the way for us and what they meant to our community.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
This is a 2023 Ford F-150 Power Boost Hybrid, and its 7.2 kilowatt onboard generator is powerful enough to run an entire camper. That's impressive. And its 3.5 liter full hybrid turbocharged V6 engine can take you 700 miles on a single tank of gas. That's really impressive. And right now you can drive one home for just $550 a month. Well, that just makes sense. Come see us at Terrebonne Ford in Houma, because Terrebonne Ford delivers.
Great news, Houma businesses. We're here. We are Rev, a telecommunications provider with powerful solutions and unmatched local support. We've been bringing Louisiana people, businesses, and culture together for 85 years. Our fiber network delivers superior internet, phone, and security. It's big business technology with small business personal service.
For a limited time, get up to $300 off business services. Call or visit us today at letsrev.biz.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouse's. I'm your host, Keith Weiss. Thank you so much for joining us as we welcome in our favorite dietitian with Rouse's, April Sins. Hi, April.
Hi, Keith. How are you doing today?
I am very, very well. And I want you to know I don't always eat a whole lot of pasta. I'm careful with that. But I want you to know this week I had my first pasta dish at home.
Oh, well, good. Yes. And it's so easy to cook at home. That's
right.
Part of the brilliance of it. So,
right.
Yeah. So it's National Pasta Month for October. And so I thought it would be fun for us to talk about a few ways that we can use pasta at home. And one thing we're going to do is we are going to make a dish, a simple pasta, chicken, and broccoli dish. A great one pot meal that makes it super simple to be able to cook this at home. So I'm going to get this started. And while this starts, I'm going to tell you a few of my favorite things about pasta for National Pasta Month.
Okay.
Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to heat up a pot, put a little bit of chicken broth on the bottom of it, and then I'm going to start to kind of cook and soften up some broccoli. So I have some chopped fresh broccoli right here, just making it super simple. And what this is going to be is you're going to have your vegetable in this dish, you're going to have some chicken for some protein, and you're going to have some pasta for some carbohydrates as well. So what I'm going to do is just start this off, let this kind of get simmering for a little bit, and then it's just going to soften. Now, one of my favorite things about pasta is that you can make some really great budget-friendly meals. A lot of people are trying to make their dollar stretch, and so pasta is actually a great way to do that. Now, when you're thinking about pasta, you're thinking, I know a lot of people think, carbs, but carbs are okay as part of a balanced diet. So just think about what you're eating as a whole and balance it out. Now, let me show you a couple of my favorite. Now, one of my favorite is the Rouse's whole wheat pasta. Love this because it does give us a little bit more fiber. And then we also have so many different types of Rouse's pastas as well. But this is the one I'm using today because it is I don't know if I say this right, fusilli noodle. And what I like about those is they're fun because they're curly in the dish, and they just make the dish look so nice. But you could use any pasta Another thing too is there are gluten-free options of pasta. So this one right here in particular is a brown rice pasta. So that one is a gluten-free option. So look around, and you can also find some other types that are made from beans and lentils. You can find so many different types of pasta type of dishes. Now, this is steaming in the pot right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of olive oil in here. You want to steam that enough to make it nice and soft, but not overdone, okay? I'm adding a little bit of my favorite Rouse's olive oil right here. You want to get you some award-winning olive oil at Rouse's. And then we're going to add in some chicken. Now, you want to use some chicken that is cooked already. So if you don't have cooked chicken, make sure you cook it first. But this is actually some canned chicken. This is actually chicken out of like the little package that you don't even have to drain. So I'm keeping it really, really easy. And then some garlic. Okay, so I have some minced garlic I'm going to add right here. We're going to cook this down. And then once you get this cooked down a little bit more, we're going to add a little bit of white wine if you like to cook with white wine, or you can add a little bit more chicken broth. But the white wine kind of deglazes the bottom, which means it takes up the little bits that get stuck at the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to add the star of the show. We're going to add the pasta. And we're going to have a nice dish. I already have this pasta boiled, and we're going to just mix this together and have this nice pasta dish to be able to serve to the family. A couple of other things, Keith, is that pasta is so family friendly and kid friendly. It's a great way to add some vegetables into the pasta. Even if you're making, your pasta and your pasta sauce, you can also add some more vegetables into there and just really make an easy family-friendly dish. And in addition to that, think about your athletes at home. So if you have some athletes at home, remember they do need some food that's going to give them some energy to sustain them in their activities. And pasta is a great way to do that. Combine it with your protein, your vegetables, and you really have a great winning dish.
Yeah, and so it's so very simple. I love the fact that you can just throw the broccoli in, let it soften a little bit, because I think that's one of the things that people have trouble with is the texture of broccoli. But if you soften it a little bit before you put the chicken and the pasta in, it makes it so much easier because that broccoli now is going to blend with the pasta much better.
Oh, certainly. And it really adds a lot of color to the dish as well, where you can see that broccoli in there just adds a nice pop of color. And you can also change it up. If you would rather add some sliced carrots in here, you can do that as well. Or you can add both and just kind of have a little rainbow of flavors in there. But just think about all the different things that you can combine with pasta, because you're not necessarily eating it by itself. So think about how you can balance it out by adding some nice lean proteins in there, adding some vegetables in there, and having that great combination of a balanced meal.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of the fat from that award-winning olive oil. You get the pasta, so we get our carbs in good balance with the vegetable of the broccoli and the protein of the chicken. It's kind of a perfect dish, and you've just shown how easy you can do that very quickly. So as always, April, you've made Aaron and I very hungry, and now we're going to want to go out and make this dish. Wonderful. We appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you so much, Keith.
All right. And that will do it for this particular segment of Eat Right with Rouse's. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you are in a lush Vegas-style casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area. So stop by Big Wheels Travel Center, where everyone's a winner.
Give where you live. The Terrebonne Church's United Food Bank.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
Why make it hard when you can choose easy? Yes, during Treff Chevrolet's Easy October event, we're making it easy to save on our biggest truck selection in months. We have the trucks, like a new 23 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab with 0% APR, no payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 cash allowance. Find trucks, and more trucks. It's not hard to save during our Easy October event at Treff Chevrolet in Houma, where we're always on your side.
West Park Self-Storage is a state-of-the-art storage facility with clean, convenient, and secure climate-controlled storage. Our professional storage counselors are here to assist you with all your storage needs. We now offer after-hour access, and you can access your unit 7 days a week. We also have parking for RVs, boats, and cars with 24-hour access. West Park Storage would like to thank you for 20 years of business.
Hey everybody, welcome into Going Public. I am Harry McCullough. We're joined this week by the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Dove. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I know we got a lot to talk about flood and wind, but elections, you wasn't part of the election cycle this time for first time in a long time, right? How you doing?
Yeah, it was truly amazing to see a governor go in the first time, and Jeff went there. He campaigned hard and he took it the first time, and I think he's going to do us a great job. And, you had quite a bit of elections, and you have a runoff for parish president for my seat. And you had nine people in the runoff. In the primary, so there's 2 in the runoff. So naturally, it's who picks up the other one's votes.
Sure.
And you're gonna you only had 21,000 people show where we normally have 27,000. So the primary is either going to be slower than that. I mean, I'm estimating 11,000, 12,000 people.
Right, without the top of the ticket, right.
You don't have a governor's race.
Yeah.
Liz Morrell's in a runoff with someone else, and she took 44% of the vote, and she looks like she should sweep in, but in the treasurer's race, and so there's some runoffs on there.
Few
but
thing.
the big race, the
big
governor's
stars,
going.
right,
Yeah. Once they go on, he's elected 52% of the vote.
Right.
So
it'd be interesting to see. So no withdrawals though. You weren't looking for a place to go, run for office somewhere.
No, I've got 22 grandchildren, so it's time I spend a little time with them. But I still have my regular businesses, and
obviously,
we have a hunt ranch and trail ranch, and
I know you got plenty of things to keep you busy.
So we got a camp in
Never
Grand
stopped
Isle,
you before
so
though.
Kids love Grand Isle, so
no, I'm with you. So let's talk about how you can protect those grandkids down the road because of flood and wind insurance is where we're going to start today.
Yeah, well, I just want to bring the public up. As you know, Terrebonne Parish was part of 39 parishes, 10 states, with Jeff Landry and Liz Morrell with the Attorney General's office, and we sued FEMA under the 2.0. The worst thing about 2.0, it takes your grandfather status away. And so we've asked him for an injunction. The judge who heard it was Federal Judge Pavillon, which was recently appointed by the Biden administration, and we're waiting on his ruling any day now. And as soon as we know, and of course the maps themselves, we're taking section by section of the maps, like Chauvin, Dulac, Delorge, Pontchartrain, and Montague, and the east side, and even some of the west side. The west side didn't fare as bad as the east side as when it comes to the elevations.
Right.
And we're doing our own models, our flood models and our storm surge models, and we the engineers and consultants believe we do better if we take an area at a time. Now we're doing them all together,
sure,
but we're doing it at a time, and but so we hoping to win the injunction and stop this craziness about not. The biggest problem is if you in an area that became a flood zone, whether it became a flood zone 10 years ago, you're not grandfathered in. That's the bad thing about it.
I built my house in a non-flood zone. Now I'm in a flood zone and it's $8,000 a year. So how you change the rules just like that on somebody?
That's just the federal government.
And it never flooded.
Now remember, if you have to accept the maps. If we don't accept the maps, then we lose the NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program.
Right.
That doesn't. So no one gets insurance. You can't do a mortgage. Not only that, if there's a hurricane, FEMA doesn't come to your town.
Right.
You are out of the FEMA.
You guys had to do it.
You had to, and it was as much as you had to grit your teeth to sign it, but we are fighting it. And and on wind insurance is the next thing that's killing killing everyone financially. Now I did find that you have some other companies writing. The legislature did put money up to try to attract businesses in, and so there are other companies writing. And like anything else, if we don't have hurricanes, I think you're going to see more come in on a wind. But it's really the number one problem in Terrebonne. We don't have a flooding problem anymore.
Right.
We have levees. We added 30 pump stations. We doubled the pumping capacity. We have 100 pump stations, but capacity-wise, we doubled it. So we don't have a flood problem.
Right.
We have an insurance problem.
Absolutely, I agree. All right. So speaking of elections, so the rededication of $1 million SRO funding.
Right. There was 1.66 mil set up. Which is by state statute, we had to collect the money. We collected $7 million to build a new public health building right next to Tesh Clinic across from Griffiths on Tunnel Boulevard. So we have the $7 million, but we have to maintain it. So we took the $1 million that we didn't need anymore in there and rededicated to the SRO, as you can see, school resource officers. We presently working with, and I want to tell you, Sheriff Tim Saunier, Bubba Orgeron, Chief Travis Terrio, TPCG Council, and the Catholic Diocese and other private schools. We're all working with them, and to get these SROs funded. The good thing about this is going to be reoccurring. So that's going to go to everyone from the sheriff to the school to everyone to help them fund that. We've put up $2 million. In some money, some Louisiana Trust money that came in because of COVID, and we bought $2 million. So we supplying SRO vehicles. And if you're going to see it's going to be a black vehicle with SRO on it, and it's the Louisiana Recovery Funds is the name I was trying to think of. But we came on the show. I want to thank the sheriff, Bubba Orgeron, Chief Travis Terrio, and I want to thank the council. The council's with us every step of the way, and
so important.
And we got a good council, and the council members are very knowledgeable, and they work with administration to get through this.
Very, very important. And the last thing you want to see is a Uvalde, Texas, and anything like that. So that's why these guys are so important.
And but remember, a SRO has to be 2 years trained. So like the sheriff and Travis Terrio, the chief, would tell you, you just can't go pull someone out and say you're an SRO. So we're protecting our schools. Now we want to be able to get dedicated funds so they don't ever have to cut the funding for it. So this is $1 million. It's not enough to fund all the schools,
right.
but we already funding them through
With the trust.
Terrebonne. And I want to thank the school board has stepped up along with Sheriff Saunier. And because, the HPD is under the parish's umbrella. So it's really coming along well.
All right, great. Speaking of coming along, anybody that travels Old Bayou Black 182 and Hollywood Extension, that bridge is blowing and going. And boy, when they get started, they can build those bridges fast.
Right, and that's sea level. It's GIS engineering. It's $4.2 million engineering and construction. We had to do some land acquisition. It is a 3-lane bridge, so it's actually wider than the Polk Street Bridge. It's going to look almost identical to Polk Street with the bricks and the fan, the lights. They really make a good-looking bridge. It doesn't cost much more money. And, it's 50-foot wide by 84-foot long, 3-lane sidewalks, and it's all concrete. And it's really moving well. If you look at the next page, that's the artist rendition, but you can see they're driving the piling here pretty quick. And they got a nice piece of equipment there. We're trying to get to where they opening the lanes for the traffic, so we don't make it too inconvenient for people.
And you think beginning of next year, end of this year, beginning of next year?
The end of the year. The way they're going end of the year, beginning of next year, if they don't have any weather shutdown, they're really moving fast. Because after they drive the pilings, they're going to put their concrete rafters across it, and then they set these. The bridge itself comes in his Wasky slabs, and it's all puzzled together.
Right. And that's the one good thing about El Nino and no kind of a drought this year. Construction has had no problems with construction projects.
Right, and if you live in Terra Cane, Plantation Garden, down Gibson, you can just scoot here, get Hollywood Road, and hit Martin Luther King.
Right, Valhalla.
So I think this is going to really be. We worked on this. This is Restore Act money. We worked on it, getting the monies on this, and it took us a while, but we're well under construction.
Because there was nothing between St. Charles and Savain Road.
Right.
So now this will give another.
And remember, the bridge further to the west by Michael St. Martin's house, we had to shut that bridge down because it's wooden pilings and the pilings are rotten. So that bridge is, and we're going to remove that bridge. Right. So we had to get another bridge.
Take the place. Yeah. So the Bayou Cane pump station is next.
$12.5 million. It's moving right along. This is where we had the fire. Not by the pump station, but out
in that area.
This is going to pump water into 4,000 acres, and it's going to take water out of Bayou Cane and keep it out the home of keep it out Bayou Terrebonne, and put it in retention. And they have these actuated doors that's going to open up when the elevations in the canals are so high, and they're going to drain, and that's to help the drainage in Bayou Cane. It's a big Bayou Cane, Bayou Terrebonne drainage program, and it goes all the way to Whiskey Bayou by Allendale and of course all that area.
Interesting, and we only have 45 seconds, but interesting that you were able to flood that area because of the marsh fires that would happen, which is eventually what you're going to do as a retention pond, but you had to do it for a different reason.
Well, remember, we had all the drawings. We're building levees around there.
Right.
We knew the elevations. We had to block off 3 canals coming out of there, small canals. So we had to put some mud blocks in there. And we put roughly 2 foot of water.
Yeah.
We put over 2 billion gallons.
It was a good dry run.
And because it was peat moss, it wasn't going out.
Right.
There was no way to put it out. We did a lot of research on peat moss, and you got to put it underwater.
I find out things all the time. We'll be right back with Going Public right after this.
A new company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service planning, engineering, procurement, and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new company with a lot of history.
In South Louisiana, storms are a way of life. Every storm poses a different threat, whether from flooding or hurricane-force winds. At All South Consulting Engineers, we help protect our people from these disasters. Before a storm, we work with our leaders to prevent catastrophic damage. After the storm, we help get the resources needed for rebuilding. We have helped our cities, parishes, and school boards recover over $2 billion to rebuild our community. We'll be here for the next one.
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Jessica Domingue, and today we're going to talk about school zone safety.
Drivers are required to yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk. Always stop when someone is in the road and wait for them to cross completely before proceeding. Follow the speed limit and always stop when school buses are picking up and dropping off students.
Keeping students safe is a community responsibility, so let's all do our part.
A new company with a lot of history, GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service planning, engineering, procurement, and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new company with a lot of history.
Pelican Waste and Debris is your local company. We don't just work here, we live here and understand the unique challenges that face our region. Our commitment to our community and customers and love for Louisiana keeps us motivated. Pelican meets every residential and commercial service need, offering roll-off, front-load, and compactor services, ideal for hotels, restaurants, apartments, construction or industrial sites, and much more. We also make recycling simple and cost-efficient, offering single-stream recycling program options. We have set the highest standards for environmental protection, community engagement, and guaranteed client satisfaction. Visit pelicanwaste.net or call us at 985-873-9553 to save money with hassle-free service. Our team has over 100 years of experience, so we know how to make you happy. The sky is the limit, so fly with the Pelican.
Welcome back to Going Public. I'm Harry McCullough. We're here with Gordon Dove, the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, and we were talking, you guys, with that ring levee around that Savan Road area, Bayou Cane area, I guess it's called. You really found out some things that, first of all, it's going to hold water, right?
Right, and and of course, if you go to the next slide, you see all the trees that we saved. That's a slide that was done yesterday. We saved thousands of acres.
Yeah, it kept burning.
We probably burned 1,000, 1,500 acres. Then when I say we burned it, it caught fire.
Sure.
But look, I want to thank all your fire departments: Bayou Cane, Bob Blue, Shreve, Koto, Bob Black, Homer Fire Department, Joyce Seahan, the people that helped install the pumps, and the council for working with me on it. We put an emergency out and we moved forward on it. And in the next slide, you can see we're back to building the pump station. We pumped 2 billion gallons with a B, and the fire's out. But we knew we could do it.
And who knew that peat moss was that flammable and it was so hard to put out
and could dry out. Could dry out with this drought.
It's incredible.
And then the next slide, that's just some more pictures. And then the next one is the Bayou Country Sports Packs, and this is the boys' baseball. We've moved forward. In fact, you'll see the pilings out there being driven. That's the concession stand. It sort of looks like the other one, except it has a gable roof. The other one on soccer has a lean-to type of roof. And this is common ground. It's $4.2 million, but that's not just the concessions. That's putting electricity, water, gas. That's doing sidewalks, doing everything around 5 baseball fields to get them ready, and this was funded by the state. I want to thank Jerome Zerang, especially Tanner McGee, his wife. They really was instrumental on getting the money and the rest of the delegation. So this is under construction as we speak. That's the boys. That's on the boys' baseball, and this is not only the building, but everything, all the common grounds, everything is $4.2 million.
Wow. And it'll service 5
And
baseball fields.
It's state capital funded, and we have to match it with some local funds. And if the next one is soccer fields, in fact, next week we have a ribbon cutting on the soccer fields. They're gonna be using them November 1st. This is a stadium lighted soccer fields, and that what you see in yellow is the volleyball courts, and this is $2.4 million parking lot, and we got the like I said, these are, go out there and take a look at it. It's really impressive.
And their first tournament is going to be November 1st, right?
November 3rd, I think.
In
First part of
association,
November, right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you turn to the next one, there's the volleyball. It's got 3 volleyball
Beach
areas.
volleyball.
And you got 3, and it's beach volleyball. And that's just not a Horwood sand. I mean, the bottom is done. It's all done according to regulation.
Yeah. And a lot of the colleges now use it. LSU has a great team, but a lot of the high school players are starting to play individually during the spring with beach volleyball.
And you can see the parking lot for the soccer fields. And like I say, Tanner and his wife were instrumental in making this happen. I want to thank them.
Yeah, the next shot you'll see is a good high level of what you're
right,
talking
and
about.
you can see the lights. I mean, you can see the stadium type of lights. There's a concession stand which we built some time back. And then the next one is you can see the road, how the road goes all the way. So you'll have 2 ways in. We won't that'll bring you almost to Valhalla. Well, you got to hit the road and take a right to Valhalla, and you can see the light, the stadium lights, and you can see the big
That'd be
fields. I
nice.
mean, they look
Right.
like football fields.
Right.
You know?
And then you can play
that's-
later on at
And that's
night.
subsurface drainage. Has sprinkler systems, and that's done to regulation soccer balls.
Right.
And the next one, LA Contractors did it. And Stevie Smith with All South is the engineer on it. Stevie did a wonderful job. And then one more picture, and if you could see it, and then the next, you can see the lake in there. We got 3 docks. We got 10 baseball fields, 3 docks. We have water park. We have batting cages, and now we got all
Now, were you
volleyball.
telling me you're going to have another road out of there? So another exit?
No, that's it.
Oh, I got you.
The road I was showing you takes you to that road, and you take a right, and there's Val. See Valhalla right there?
I got you.
Now, the next one is we're buying the rest of that property. See, we didn't own it all the way to Valhalla.
I got you.
We're buying that. It's a $2.7 million purchase, but it's 25 acres. We have plans to put a LSU agriculture extension.
Oh, nice.
An arena, a state-of-the-art arena, 4-H born, and whatever else, but this is, we're actually signing this to purchase the land next week.
Oh, okay, great.
And then the next one is with these public boat launches.
That's down in
That's
Chauvin.
Petite Caillou. Please go by there. It's all, everything we do is handicap access. The docks, the volleyball fields, the soccer ball, the baseball, everything is handicapped. So are these boat landings. The handicap access. They all have kayak docks. I know kayaks becoming a big thing. And this is right past Boudreaux Canal in Chauvin. If we go to the next one, and we built that. You can see they got benches, they got railings.
You can go out there and crab all day right there, huh?
All day. The next one, you can see the handicap parking off to the right. And we put garbage cans out there. We have police cameras out there. It's very safe. You can grab, you bring your little tin if you want to pitch it up right over a table or something.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we did one up at Upper Montague. And we did this one up in Upper Montague. The next one, is Upper Montague. This has all been done. It's a smaller one than the one in Chauvin, but we took an existing landing right before you get to Montague, and then same thing. You got railings and.
But so much nicer than having to try and
Oh,
walk
look,
down to the water and worry about falling in the
And then
water.
remember, you also got boat launches and all.
Right.
We put
And-
it's all public, no charge.
Right. And handicap
And we just
accessible.
ask the public to keep it clean, but we do put garbage cans out there. And that is actually under Clay Knockhand. He's the department head over that. Next one is Texas Golf Road in Berg. This is another real nice, very large marina. If you look at the next slide, that's from a distance. You see plenty of parking, and you got the same thing with the railings, the docks, handicap access, kayak docks, and
look, man, for anybody that's looking for something to do, that's a great weekend with your kids, is to go out there and obviously get an umbrella, stay out of the sun a little bit, but play around with some crab nets and some chicken nets.
Catch, drums, red,
yeah.
They catch a lot of fish. I mean, it's
really easy access.
And it's exciting. And then the next one is, that's the Texas Gulf Road, like I say, in Berg. And the next one is the Miter Gates. That's the twin span. We're under engineering and design. And what it does is basically, we could put Montague, Berg, East Homer under force pump if we need it. And Berg, Montague, and East Homer. So that's the one in by Terrebonne.
This would be on the south side of the navigational canal.
South side, yes, sir.
Of the intercoastal canal.
Intercoastal,
in the Terrebonne.
The hospital's across the intercoastal from there. The next one is Company Canal. If you're going to close it off, we're going to have Company Canal is the next one, and this will close it off and allow us to go under force pump. See, we put Chauvin under force pump.
Right.
So and then this is the Bayou Terrebonne lock. The Bayou Terrebonne lock, because we built two locks, one in Bayou Terrebonne to allow vessels to come and go and keep salt water and high waters out. This is under designing engineering. This is probably 6 months away. We do have $5 million of funding from the statewide flood program. We have to raise another $5 million. Now they're lifting. That's the old gate there at below Montague. They're lifting. The levee board's going to lift that to 21 feet.
Wow.
All levees are being lifted to 21 feet. And then the next one, of course, is the Bubba Dove floodgate. And I always show that because the next one is they're taking bids for a $360 million. And the reason it says under construction, they're taking bids for phase 2. They've done the dredging, and that's Reggie Dupre, Tony Alford. We funded this as CPRA. Actually, when I was in the legislature, we had $450 million for this project because it's going to retrofit the Bubba Dove to 21 feet. It's 18 feet. And this is actually out for bids as we speak. And this will stop any high waters coming into Terrebonne Parish, any salt water. If there's a hurricane, we can let vessels come and go up to 8 feet of water. If you're out there after 8 feet of water, you're
on your own.
And look, this is the operations facilities, the next one. And that's where the operations facilities go. If you take that levee right there, it brings you to 4 Point Road. And this is a beautiful project. A lot of concerted effort, our delegation, and
they're going to build a facility right there.
That's where the operations facility for the lock system.
Right.
Remember, it has to be manned. And it has to be manned 24 hours a day.
And when we've seen, with the saltwater wedge that everybody was so fired up about with the Mississippi, we get the same thing that comes up the Houma Nav.
We get salt water.
So this will really freshen up the water. Now, not that we're getting our water from here. We get it mostly up from Lafourche. But it'll really freshen up the Bayou Terrebonne water. That
will change the ecosystem that for Terrebonne. Everything will freshen up. The fresher the water, the better vegetation. I mean, it goes with it. And remember, you can shut the hurricane off here. You got 80 miles of Morganza levee, by the way, that's going to 15 feet. Right. And then you have an $80 million gate in Bayou Chene. That's a 400-foot gate. The Bubba Dove's 250. And yet that will stop. You could close that off to stop the Chaffalaya water from coming flooding.
Which is a real problem.
We're in very good shape.
Yeah.
Look, and we added 30 pump stations, telemetry SCADA. So you're not going to flood anymore. That's not our problem. Insurance is our problem.
Sure. Well, Gordon Dove, thank you so much for joining us. That's Going Public. I'm Harry McCullough. We'll see you next time.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models, or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey, a girl's got a fish. We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you boiling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
Billy's Best Brands Plus has all of your bedding, appliance, and electronic needs. Whether you're in the need of a new washer or dryer, refrigerator or stove, at Billy's we have a wide selection of HD TVs and home theater systems, plus the best bedding around. Come in and see our great selection today, only at Billy's Best Brands Plus. And let us deliver to you. Billy's Best Brands Plus, located at 5805 West Main Street in Houma.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Pelican Waste and Debris is your local company. We don't just work here, we live here and understand the unique challenges that face our region. Our commitment to our community and customers and love for Louisiana keeps us motivated. Pelican meets every residential and commercial service need, offering roll-off, front-load, and compactor services, ideal for hotels, restaurants, apartments, construction or industrial sites, and much more. We also make recycling simple and cost-efficient, offering single-stream recycling program options. We have set the highest standards for environmental protection, community engagement, and guaranteed client satisfaction. Visit pelicanwaste.net or call us at 985-873-9553 to save money with hassle-free service. Our team has over 100 years of experience, so we know how to make you happy. The sky is the limit, so fly with the Pelican.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Buy Time. Harry McCullough here. We're going to spend the next second with Sheriff Craig Weber out of Lafourche Parish, of course, just fresh off a re-election campaign, so congratulations on that. We're going to get to what's happening at Central Lafourche, but first of all, I wanted to congratulate you on winning it, and you shared with me that you're not old, Sheriff, by any means, but but you've been in office for a while, and I know something you're very proud of.
I am very proud. Actually, I'm completing my 8th term. I'm in my 32nd year as sheriff. I was first elected in 1991, sworn in 1992. And I'm one of 2 sheriffs that are still serving from that 1991 election, the second one being Sheriff Willie Martin, the sheriff of St. James Parish, who has decided not to seek re-election and will be retiring at the end of June next year. So at that point, I will be the only sheriff still actively serving in Louisiana who was elected back in 1991. And at the end of that term, it'll be 36 years. And quite candidly, I don't know how those years got by so quickly. But as I look back, I now realize I got employees who have retired. Their children are on the brink of retirement, and some of their grandchildren are new employees here. So, 33 decades of service, you really have the ability to go through and see families follow the footsteps of their mothers and fathers, because we have mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, husband and wives. We have every imaginable combination that there is. It's really fulfilling, very rewarding. I've said this before, I'm a blessed man.
Let's change to a topic to your work, right? And Central Lafourche and Lafourche Parish schools in general, there was an incident that is going on, and I know that a lot of people were concerned about going to school today.
Yes, the main incident, and then there was a secondary incident that people thought may have been related, but the two were unrelated. So let me talk about the principal thing that we were involved in. Yesterday afternoon, one of our school resource officers was made aware of a YouTube rap song, if you will, rap video that was produced by a 15-year-old student at Central Lafourche High School. And within the context of that video, that rap video, there was some lyrics, if you will, or some allegations, not so much allegations, but more lyrics suggesting that the student had violent tendencies or maybe had animosities toward some of the teachers that were working at Central Lafourche. And with some of the rap music, there's a certain nomenclature. People will use certain terms to describe a weapon or a firearm or drugs. And this particular video did make reference to sexual violence and also firearm violence. Our detectives, juvenile detectives, and other detectives were able to isolate and determine that there was only one individual involved. We were able to bring the 15-year-old in and have a interrogation along with a parent, and the parent was very, very supportive. And we got a full confession. We are satisfied that there was really not a genuine threat to carry out some of the things that were in this video, that it was a video that was produced and certainly created enough of a concern, as it should. And that's the thing we have to be aware of in the world we live today. There's no such thing as making a joke or not meaning what you say when you make those words, or you take actions that suggest that you might be violent. Kind of like when airports really ramped up with TSA. Don't say anything that you think could be misinterpreted, because it's going to result in law enforcement and action. And in this particular case, this 15-year-old was charged as a juvenile with a statute, with a specific statute dealing with intimidation of certain public officials and retaliation. So the judge required that this individual be subjected to electronic monitoring. And to tell you the truth, all of the beds at the juvenile justice facility are occupied with violent juveniles. And while this particular case certainly has the potential of violence, once we interrogated and spoke to the parents, we were satisfied that there was not an immediate threat. However, the secondary thing that occurred is one of these internet references to a school shooting that came out of, I think, the state of Florida or Illinois, and it was using a Central, as Central was in the name of the school. Right. And we experienced that a year or so ago. There would be these internet threats that would make reference to a school that came from out of state. And then, of course, it creates panic. So I'm told that over 400 people did not go to school today at Central Lafourche High School as a result of those two things. Some people thought that the threat to do harm at the school was related to and part of the video, and they were not. They were completely separate. The threat was a complete internet hoax that we continue to deal with time and time again. The video was isolated to one student and very specific, and we feel like we have both of those issues adequately taken care of without any danger. So I'm hoping that tomorrow people will realize that school is safe, that the law enforcement is on top of it. The school resource officers are there for a reason, and they do a great job. And more importantly, send a message to any other kid or student, or even for that matter, third party, who might think they want to engage in this type of behavior, that there are going to be consequences. It's my understanding that an expulsion took place and that student will be expelled from school, I'm sure for some period of time. I would have to let the school system comment on that.
Sure. Well, Sheriff, sure appreciate the update. Obviously, that should calm a lot of folks whose children will be going to school. Again, congratulations on the re-election, and we appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure, absolutely. We'll see you next time. We'll be right back with more Bite Time right after this.
Save during the fall savings event at Barker Mitsubishi. Drive home a new 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander and get 3.99% APR for 72 months. Or pay just $449 a month for a 36-month lease at Barker Mitsubishi in Homa, or shop online at barkermitsubishi.com.
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Jessica Domingue, and today we're going to talk about school zone safety.
Drivers are required to yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk. Always stop when someone is in the road and wait for them to cross completely before proceeding. Follow the speed limit and always stop when school buses are picking up and dropping off students.
Keeping students safe is a community responsibility, so let's all do our part.
What's on tap for the Caggianos? Well, this family of brewers harvests their own ingredients on their own land, mowing every blade, getting ready to entertain at the only local farm-to-pine experience around. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a John Deere mower and start telling yours.
From the moment you walk into the showroom floor at Trapp Cadillac, you understand our commitment to providing a truly exceptional experience for all returning and new customers.
Our goal is to make sure you're always comfortable while understanding the entire process of getting into your new Trapp Cadillac.
When you drive a Trapp Cadillac, you know performance, bold styling, and our shared commitment to service.
One thing you could always count on here at Trapp Cadillac is our excellent service experience.
Terrebonne General Health System is the largest healthcare resource in Southeast Louisiana, offering a high-tech and high-touch style of healing. World-renowned services include cardiology, women's health, cancer care, and a healthy lifestyle center.
This is a true calling for all the physicians, nurses, and staff who make up our proud Terrebonne General family. We are here to provide health care for our community.
To discover more, please visit tghealthsystem.com.
You gotta try this. And some of those. Ooh, and definitely that. You won't be disappointed, but just know you can only get it here. Up and down Louisiana's Cajun Bayou in Lafourche Parish. Y'all come visit. We're just 35 miles south of New Orleans. Hungry? Let's eat!
Save during the fall savings event at Barker Kia in Homa. Drive home a new 2023 Kia Sorento and pay just $299 a month. That's right, pay only $299 a month for a new Sorento at Barker Kia in Homa or shop online at barkerkia.com.
Everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Big event that's coming up in the Homa Court Square in October 28th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It'll be the Children's Water Safety Awareness Event. A lot of events, a lot of stuff that's going on, and obviously wanting a better cause in our area. Here to talk about it, Joey Vining, who is with the Children's Water Safety Awareness Event and the just that's what it's called, Children's Water Awareness. So, man, thanks for being here. First of all, I know, boy, what a great time of year to have an event like this. The 5th year y'all doing this event, right?
Yeah, this is our 5th year for our Pastelaria cook-off, and it's been very successful. So as long as it's successful, we're going to continue doing it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You also have a car show that y'all do. But let's first get everybody kind of familiar. You know, you're still kind of a new, even though it's 5 years. Which Children's Water Safety Awareness, where it started, and what about the organization?
We started off, I had lost a grandson years ago to drowning. 3 years old, Seth Pellegrim, and ever since then, we kind of passed through my mind all the time, and me and another guy said, man, let's start something in 2016. So we just come up with an idea. We're going to call it Children's Water Safety Awareness, and since then, that was in 2016, we've, believe it or not, our first year we paid for like 47 swimming lessons. 6 years later, we're up to 3,500 swimming lessons with them handed out, and 2018, we started a trade-up, Life Jacket for Life trade-up program, where you bring a kid to us, we fit them with a proper Coast Guard-approved life jacket, and every time they outgrow it, you bring it back and trade it up for the next size. And it's unbelievable, we're up to 2,500 life jackets since 2018.
That's incredible.
We weren't expecting them growing that fast, so we had to reach out for help. You know, had to try to get some grants, which was very successful. We hold 2 events a year. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the biggest sponsors that help us out is the Blue Boot Foundation.
Right.
And they, without them, we couldn't continue to do what we do. We just grew too fast. And it's been a lot of help to us, especially, and we got other big sponsors that help us out. So also, I can't do it by myself. I got good about 25 to 30 good active members. You know, we have a meeting not quite once a month, but pretty close to it, and it's very rewarding. It's just the idea of the lives that we know we saved from you go past history. We cut that lives in half. We had a record going for 2.5 years in Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Mary Parish, where a child has never had an accidental drowning, except, you know, this year, unbelievable. We, very sad to say, we had 2 kids, one in Terrebonne and one in Lafourche Parish, that we lost this year. So all we're going to do is buckle up, start us a new record, you know. But things happen, you know, we can't stop it all, but I can sure in hell try to.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
And, you know, the accidents can happen when people can get away from their parents or whatever. But this gives everybody an opportunity to at least be prepared as much as they can. To when you talk about life jackets, we're talking about swimming lessons because, you know, accidents are going to happen. But if a child knows how to swim at an early age, they can avoid that real tragic.
Yeah, we also pay for over 200 CPR classes to parents because you never know when you need it. And that's kind of slow. You know, we're not doing much of that, but for swimming lessons, and I can't thank enough for all the private people that we have doing our swimming lessons, all the recreation departments in Thibodaux, Morgan City, Houma.
We talk about 3,500 swimming lessons. That's got to be almost every kid that has an opportunity to go through your program.
Everybody has a chance. We set up.
I mean, that's got to be close to who's doing it, right? I mean,
yeah, we set up everywhere, and we probably could do more if we had enough lifeguards and people to teach it. We just don't have the access to getting that much help, you know.
Because, you know, I had kids, you know, and you go find somebody with a pool, it's not cheap, you know. So no, I mean, but that's what a great area, and we've talked about that, right? This area. You can't drive without having water on the side of you. We all have pools because we're in a tropical area. We got beaches. So it's so important for people to learn how to swim and then learn how to protect themselves.
You know, I go up north and I talk to people about my organization, and they say, man, down the bayou where y'all from, there must be a lot of drowning with the water, the canals, the beaches. It's not that. It's the swimming pools.
Right.
It's the swimming pools. Believe it or not, 70% of children under the age of 14 drowning in swimming pools, and most of it is in their own pool. Right. You know, it's just these young kids. You just can't turn your head for a second.
Sure.
You know, it's a sad situation, but we're going to improve it, and we're doing it. We are improving it, and we're going to continue to improve it as long as I can walk.
Yeah.
It's just such rewarding to see the kids come up to you. Hey, you the water safety guy, you know, because I also go speak to them every summer.
Sure.
At all the recreation departments. I speak to hundreds and hundreds of kids and, you know, tell them and go back and talk to your parents about what you just learned today.
Do we have a weakness, and you may not know this, do we have a demographic? Is it certain people that don't swim, or is it, like I said, most of it is in pools, which I would imagine would be a little higher?
Yeah.
So do we have an area, a weakness that we could start looking at and pointing and trying to fix?
Yeah, in a way, it's, you know, it's not only that you got to learn how to swim. They got kids that drown, that know how to swim, but they panic. Mm-hmm. So now we're getting the recreation departments to push them in, teach them not to panic.
Right.
You know, even though you know how to swim, and that's what happened to my grandson. My grandson can swim from here to the other side of the room. He dog pedal, but evidently he, at the babysitter's house, he fell in the water. The deck was slippery. He got out through the back door some kind of way, and that's where they found him.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Joey, we'll take a break. We're going to talk more about the festivities that are about to come on. We'll do that next, right here on Bike Time.
I am a professional firefighter. Because of the line of work I'm in, you know, there's a much higher risk to develop cancer. You're looking for a place that is going to support you in the manner that you need. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center is a place that you would want to come. I had to be positive to show everybody else that it was okay to be positive. They supported my mission to live a long, healthy, cancer-free life.
There are so many reasons to buy your next new car from A.J. Doman Chevrolet, but don't take our word on it. Hear what our customers have to say.
A.J. Doman has been taking care of the veterans with the vehicles for over 20 years. Very helpful, very polite to all the military guys.
My family and I have been shopping here for over 20 years. The sales team is great, and the service department is unmatched.
A.J. Doman Chevrolet, serving the area for over 38 years, at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
Every day, thousands of people hit the road heading towards their dreams. But sometimes those dreams collide with a harsh reality. Auto accidents with 18-wheelers can change lives in an instant. That's why you need the experience and expertise of St. Martin and Bork. With over 50 years of experience, St. Martin and Bork have fought for justice for the victims of truck accidents.
If you've been in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, know your rights.
Call St. Martin and Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
Barker Honda. It's better at Barker. New Accord. Sleeker style. More performance. All new, bigger HRV. It's hot. All new Pilot. Honda's most rugged SUV ever. Civic. CRV. Passport. Odyssey. And with every new Honda purchase, the Honda Service Pass provides 2 years, 24,000 miles prepaid maintenance. Barker Honda in Homa. It's better at Barker.
Welcome to the Cypress Stop, your new Phillips 66 on the corner of 311 and Savan Road. We have all your breakfast, lunch, and dinner needs with smoked ribs, smoked chicken, boudin, homemade pulled pork, and daily plate lunches. We have a very large selection of white wines, red wines, liquors, beer, tobacco, and vapes. Going fishing? We have your bait and tackle and the ice to keep your catch cool. Cypress Stop, home of the happy customer.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bayou Time. Yeah, big event coming up on October 28th. We're sitting here with Joey Vining and talking about you're the president of the Children's Water Safety Awareness. Y'all have a couple of different events. The big one, let's talk about this one that's coming up on the 28th. Perfect. You know, we always call this Chamber of Commerce type weather. October is our best month. And you guys are going to do it right there on the 28th, right before Halloween, and so a perfect time, right?
Yeah, we always do it the week before LSU plays Alabama, that off week. That's the date we schedule. Like I couldn't tell you what it is next year because they didn't set the football schedule yet. But yeah, and what's really interesting this year, we joining in with the Bayou Arts Festival. They're gonna block off the streets all the way from Lafayette Street to Barrow Street. All Main Street going to be blocked off. And it's going to bring a lot of people. So it's a win-win situation for us, you know. And we were glad to do it, and we joined in with them. And we're going to have our Paxalaya cook-off. Last year we had 21 teams that entered. And there's other things going on in town also that weekend. So hopefully we don't lose too many teams. You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully you have a bunch of teams out there. So Pasalaya Cook-Off. And, again, that's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., so it's going to be all day out there. $125 for 4 people team. And then, of course, you get bragging rights and all that kind of stuff. But, no, it should be a great time. You got a lot of stuff. You got Halloween stuff. You got a pumpkin carving and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be on the corner of it's a new location for us. It's really on the opposite side of the courthouse where we've been setting up. We're going to be on Church Street and by Joe's Cafe and also the Rotary Plaza, the new improved, beautiful Rotary Plaza that they're just finishing up now. We're gonna be there, and we're still looking for teams, man. It's a 4-man team, like you said. It's $125 to join in, and for the public, you come out and eat. The food's gonna be ready for 11, probably from around 11 to 3. It's $10 for all the pastilla you can eat. and you can taste different kinds.
Right.
And there's one you like, you go back and fill your stomach up. You know? But yeah, it's we're also gonna have a live auction around 2:00. We're gonna have a kids costume contest and also an adult costume contest. We're gonna have somewhere in about the 1:30 time area. And we're going to have a pumpkin carving contest. It's going to be held at 1:00. Bring your pumpkin carving. That's pretty funny and interesting. And some of them pumpkins, they must take them a long time because they're beautiful. Yeah.
And
so
with the Arts Festival, it'll be going on at the same time. So you'll be able to, kind of cruise around and look at some art as well as hear a band and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have a live band at the gazebo built right there in the front of the courthouse. There's going to be a live band set up right there. And like I said, we're going to have a few auction items. And this is our main thing and what we do as an organization to prevent drowning of young children. We got to have fun, and hopefully y'all can come out and enjoy it. And they're going to have beer down the road you can buy. We selling soft drinks and iced tea and water. And but they're going to be a half a mile down the street. They'll be selling beer. So come on, it's going to be a whole thing. They're going to have stuff for the kids to do. From what I understand, they're going to have a kids zone. They're going to talk more about that. The Bayou Arts Festival is going to.
Well, if anybody hadn't seen Rotary Plaza, it's a great time to see it. I was the other day coming downtown and it was lit up. It was like, whoa! I hadn't seen it since it's been lit up. It's a beautiful event. I saw some people when I was coming over here today that were under there, probably drinking coffee or something. So that's a great venue now, and a great kind of helps out our area as well. So just doing that would be a great time.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's always getting closer and closer. Like I say, it's not this Saturday, but next Saturday, October 28th. And another thing is, we're always in need for members and volunteers. Right. You can contact me at 985-860-6625. You also got a email. It's cwsahoma@gmail.com. And we also have us a website. We're still working on it a little bit, but there's good information on it now. It's childrenswatersafety.org.
Right.
Is our website.
Well,
so look us up, and so hopefully we'll see y'all there.
Yeah, between life jackets, safety lessons, swimming lessons, all those kind of things, your organization has grown so much. And you were telling me, I didn't even realize that a lot of folks have been brought together by tragedy. But it's done such a great job to stop these for future kids. But it has brought together people. You talk on a regular basis to different groups and all as well.
Yes, sir. I speak to all the kids in the summertime, all of the recreation departments. Like I said, I speak to hundreds and hundreds of kids. And it's we're also going to be signing up kids for swimming lessons. We use the event. We use the YMCA for the wintertime because they do it 24.
Oh yeah, inside.
All year round. But you can sign up your kids for next summer for swimming lessons. We'll give you.
You guys will pay for it.
We'll give you a voucher. You take it to the recreation department you want to go to, and it's all paid for.
So important. Yeah.
And also we're going to be doing our life jacket trade-up programs. You got a life jacket from us, and you want to trade up for the next size. This is a chance to do it. And also, if you want to join the program is we ask for a $25 donation for the first life jacket. That's it.
Good to go.
If you're a baby, you get like 7 life jackets for $25. One of these life jackets is like $40.
Oh, at least.
So we're not there to make money. We're there to prevent children from accidental drowning.
Absolutely.
And I don't want no person to go through what me and my family went through.
Right.
So that's the main objective, to get this thing going.
Yeah. Okay. So once again, it's October 28th. It's the 5th annual Pasalai Cook-Off, and again, it's the Children's Water Safety Awareness Event, being downtown Houma. Joey, we sure appreciate it, man. You're making a difference in our community, man.
All right, and I appreciate it. I want to thank all our sponsors. Just keep it coming.
Okay.
We're going to keep doing it.
All right. Thanks, Joe. We'll be right back with more Bite Time right after this.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering health care to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we know the importance of working together as a team.
We're always here for you when you need a loan. By the way, here's that crawfish powder you needed. You can borrow it anytime.
So whether it's business or personal banking, we do it all. Visit our locations to find out how we can support your financial needs.
Good luck with the restaurant.
Thank you. And tell your mama thanks for the recipe. Her secret's safe with me.
I will.
South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Domestic violence is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? The Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office is dedicated to ending domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women. If you are a victim of abuse, call the Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office at 873-6500.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
My name is Jacob Oquan. I'm a captain with the Houma Fire Department. I've been here for 22 years. A firefighter is someone who's dedicated to service. He lives to serve. Just have something inside of them that no matter what, they won't stop till the job's done. That's a firefighter. They live for the job and they make a career. If you have a want to serve, a need to serve, you want to help people, you can be a fireman.
Jesus again in reply spoke to the chief priests and elders of the people in a parable, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be likened to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son. He dispatched his servants to summon the invited guests to the feast, but they refused to come. A second time he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those invited, behold, I have prepared my banquet. My calves and fattened calf are killed, and everything is ready. Come to the feast.' Some ignored the invitation and went away, one to his farm and another to his business. The rest laid hold of his servant, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged and sent his troops, destroyed those murderers, and burned their city. Then he said to his servants, 'The feast is ready, but those who are invited were not worthy to come. Go out there into the main road and invite to the feast whomever you find.' The servants went out into the street and gathered all they found, bad and good alike, and the hall was filled with guests." Hello and welcome to Closer Walk Catholic Communications. I'm Father Byer, your host, and we're glad that you can join us today. Again, you can see we're getting the air condition fixed, so we've got a little different look this week and next week, but we'll be back to our regular studio soon. Go out and invite everyone to the feast. The wedding feast of the Lamb. We've heard it time and time again. The wedding feast of the Lamb is that which God has in store for all people. And it's a universal call, and it's a universal invitation. You know, when we talk about the word Catholic, oftentimes when you read, we say, you know, what religion are you? You say, I'm a Roman Catholic, or I'm a Maronite Catholic, a Melkite Catholic, or Ruthenian Catholic. We always capitalize Catholic because it denotes our denomination. But in the Apostles' Creed, we say that we believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, and it's not capitalized. The first time I was in a Lutheran church with one of my colleagues who I did an internship with, and in the middle of their service, they gave the Apostles' Creed, and they said, we believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. And I said, well, if you believe in a Catholic Church, why are you Lutheran, okay? But when you read in the Creed, Catholic is not capitalized. Catholicos in Latin meant universal. The realizing at the time when the Creed was written, realizing there were pagans, there were Jews, there were non-believers, and there were those people who recognized Jesus Christ, and they became known as Christians. And universally, anyone who was Christian was considered Catholicos, one of the believers. It wasn't until 1519 with Martin Luther, and we had the Protestant Reformation, that among those believers in Jesus Christ as the Son of God and the Savior of the world, it wasn't until then that we had different aspects of the believers, of the Catholicos. You know, and then there was Lutheran, and then there was, you know, Calvinist, and then there was Methodist, and then they continue to break off as they do today. In the small town in which I live, there are 4 churches that have come out of the First Baptist Church. Because what happened is they were there, and they were part of the congregation. They began to disagree, and so they found their own church, and then they disagreed with the church they broke off with and founded another church, that sort of thing. Today, there are 37,000 registered Christian religions, all having different beliefs, but all of them having the one common belief that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. That's universally Christian. But when we talk about Catholicos, and so when our Lord goes out to invite everyone, it's a universal call to all believers that they're invited to the wedding feast of the Lamb. They're invited to celebrate with the Father. And so then that raises a question. And many times we've heard people say, well, you know, they're not this or not that. Can they be saved? And many people who disagree with Catholic teachings, and some areas don't even consider Catholics as a Christian. And to me, it's one of the great disservices that happens today, especially on television, especially with those preachers who are very well known. You know, they have their television ministry, and oftentimes they have their funds coming in and profiting from that. But the reality is a lot of times people on television will not talk about their core beliefs. They'll talk about what they perceive as the weakness or the error or the misjudgments of other Christian religions. It's time for that to be over. It's time for that to truly be over. If I sat here and said, you know what? If you're not Catholic, there's no way you're going to heaven. That'd be heretical. We don't believe that. We don't teach that. Talked about that when I did my residency with the Lutheran priest. I had a Buddhist priest that I lived with from Kyoto, Japan. I'm telling you what, one of the finest people, one of the kindest people, and in terms of how to live your life and how to be faithful and how to treat other people and how to worship God, he was an incredible person. Even in his room, he had a statue of Buddha's mother, and he had a string of beads that he said prayers with to Buddha's mother. And on the end of it, they had a tassel, not a crucifix, obviously. But it's about people who long to serve God. It's about people who long to be faithful to God and to be pleasing in the sight of God. And what we hear in this invitation to the king's son, to the wedding feast, there were people who were just too busy. They had other things to do. One went to his farm, another went to his business. Others didn't like the message, so they killed the messenger, okay? And it's important to understand that regardless of your faith tradition, our goal is not to go around and to try to condemn other people's beliefs. Our goal is to be pleasing in the sight of God. Why am I Catholic then? I'm Catholic because I believe when our Lord said, you're Peter, and upon this rock I'll build my church. When the Lord formed the church, I believe Peter's name is now Francis. I believe he's a successor to St. Peter. And with all of our faults and all of our failings, I believe that the Roman Catholic Church is a church passed down through the apostolic tradition, and that we are the church that continues what Christ intended. Now you can look at it and say, oh, wait. What about this? What about that? What about the other thing? Make no mistake about it. Throughout all of the church's history, there have been a human element that has always been an unfortunate element in the church. And we've just been through that recently with this whole abuse crisis. And so, do I believe that the Roman Catholic Church is the perfect church? No. Do I believe that the Roman Catholic Church is the true church? The one established by our Lord when he said, you're Peter, and upon this rock? Yes, I believe that. And when you look at it, and you look at salvation history, and you look at throughout history, all the dynasties, all the reigns, all the Reichs, all the empires, all the establishment of these great civilizations, so to speak, they've all come and gone. They've all died out. Our cornerstone is Jesus Christ. And when our Lord tells the disciples, go therefore and baptize all nations in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and know that I am with you till the end of time. The reason why the Catholic Church is the only organization that existed at the time of Christ and still exists all these many years later is not because we've had nothing but perfect people, but we've been led by the Holy Spirit in spite of human error, and our Lord's promise to be with us until the end of time is a promise that he's upheld and will continue to uphold throughout history, despite some of the errors, some of the mistakes, some of the very flawed humanity that has always been part of the church's history. But the invitation to the wedding is for all believers. The invitation to the wedding is for all people who take seriously a desire to be pleasing in the sight of God as they've come to know God. Just like the priest from Kyoto, Japan, who in my mind lived to serve God. I can't say, he's going to heaven, but I believe anyone who lives their life longing to see the face of God and in service of God is indeed pleasing in the sight of God. Same time, I can't say to everyone who says, I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the Savior of the world, I really can't say they're saved. It's not about what we say. It's about how we live our lives, how we long to join the wedding feast, who we long to please, who we long to be satisfying in the sight of God. And therefore, it's when our Lord talks about anyone and everyone is invited. Stay with us. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Hi, I'm Father Jeff Baye from Closer Walk Catholic Communications. Join us here on this station each week as we strive to bring you the gospel message with great clarity and great charity, and may God bless you in your walk each day. The king was enraged and sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burned their cities. Then he said to his servant, the feast is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy to come. Go out therefore into the main road and invite to the feast whomever you find. Then he went out to the streets and gathered all they found, bad and good alike, and the hall was filled with guests. But those who were invited were not worthy to come. Who's he talking about? Who's he talking about? Those people who have been given the opportunity, the information, the invitation for the kingdom of God. Yeah, thanks. I'll think about it. I don't know about all this religion stuff. I don't know that the Virgin really gave birth to a baby. I don't know if someone rose from the dead 3 days afterwards. 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Give me a break. You couldn't have made breadcrumbs and pulled that off, okay? Those people who think they're too smart for their own good. This is a great line. I'm thinking of the movie right now, and it was with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, and they're both getting ready to die. And they're going on this trip around the world, and Morgan Freeman is a very faith-filled man and everything. And one time on their trip around the world, he starts talking to him about God. And Jack Nicholson says to him, this God thing, I've never been able to wrap my head around that whole God thing. And Morgan Freeman says, maybe that's your problem, that your head's getting in the way of your heart and coming to know God. And that idea that people think they need to understand God, they need to be able to explain God, they need to think that God is something they can rationally understand. And like Chesterton says, any God small enough for our understanding is not large enough for our needs. And if you're waiting to that point where you can understand everything about God and figure it out, then he's not really God, because you ain't that smart. And neither am I. God defies our explanation. God defies our understanding. It's about belief in something other and greater, and yet coming to recognize not what we can understand, but recognize what we have. How do I explain God? Well, I don't know, but I can look, and I can look around the world, and I can look at other people, and I can realize, you know what? I don't know why I was born healthy. I don't know why I had the ability to learn. I don't know why I was born where I was born with parents who loved me and wanted me to get an education, rather than being born and dying on the streets of Calcutta before I was 5 years old. I don't know the answer to that. But I know there's something greater and other than myself who's given me love, protection, and care. And therefore, I want to be pleasing in his sight. And I want to one day see him. And I want to one day be with him. And my life is not about trying to figure out who and what he is and what he does. My life is about gratitude, trying to give back to God for all that he's done for me and all the good that I have received. And the reality is, and our Lord talks about those who are invited, those who've had the opportunity to come to know Jesus. And we go, not a big deal for me. I can't wrap my head around it. I think it's just an emotional crutch and an opiate for the masses, and, real thinking people don't believe. Good for you. You're the ones who've rejected him. And that, there's no salvation. But the ones who've never known him, or the ones who were born completely in a Muslim culture, born in a Hindu culture, or born in a Buddhist culture, and yet they've come to believe that this is their way to please God by practicing those beliefs. That's what our Lord is talking about. Go out to the highways and the byways, invite everyone that you can find, the good and the bad alike. But the big thing is they want to attend the banquet and they want to please the King. And even though they may do it outside of what we believe, they're doing it to a God that they want to serve and they want to please. And that's the great challenge. And notice that our Lord doesn't say, go out and invite everyone who wants to be pleasing in the sight of the King. There are a lot of people that would never be invited. There are a lot of people who made choices about their life. There are a lot of people who've done certain things. And most of the time, you don't want them at your events. Why? Well, look at this one, look at that one, look at the other one. I know this one has done this, I know that one has done that, I know the other one has done the other thing. And you want to do, that sort of thing. And our Lord is saying, for those people, there's help. For those people, there's hope. For those people, there's salvation. I don't care what they've done in the past. I want to know whether or not they want to come and be pleasing in the sight of the King. And so to know that even despite what they've done, there's still an invitation open to them if they want to do what God asks of them. As I told you about working in prison, I had a Colombia cartel hitman, and he whacked a couple people because that's what he got paid to do. Got caught, spent 22 years in solitary confinement, didn't speak a word of English. Decided he was going to learn English by asking for a Spanish Bible and an English Bible. He'd been raised in a faith-filled church. So he learned English by reading the Bible in Spanish and then reading it in English. And in the course of that time of reading the scripture cover to cover, his conversion took place. And when it came time for him to die, he was well aware. By this time, he was in the open prison population. He was very regular at attending Mass in prison. He even painted a mural in the Catholic chapel. But when it came time to die, and I was asked to talk to him because he was dying of cancer, he said, look, he said, I know what I've done. And I know God's forgiven me. And I know that I'll never get out of here. And I shouldn't get out of here. And I know I'll never go home again. And I shouldn't go home again. But I know God has forgiven me. And so if I die, I get to go be with God. If he wants to heal me, he can heal me. If not, I got to stay in the penitentiary longer. There's no bad options here because I know God has forgiven me. And I think that idea is what our Lord is inviting us to. It's never, ever too late for any of us to be pleasing in the sight of the King. It's never, ever too late for any of us to be found worthy to enter the wedding feast of the Lamb. It's never, ever too late for any of us to turn our lives around. One of the saddest things that I've ever heard is when people think, I'm a hopeless cause. There's nothing you can do. I mean, after what I've done, God will never forgive me. Don't say that. Don't say that. You know, and they say, well, I wouldn't forgive someone if they did what I did. I probably wouldn't either, but I'm not God and neither are you. And to understand that the mercy of God, he longs for our heart to be with him. And that mercy is open to anyone. And it's open to anyone who longs to please God, regardless of what tradition you have been educated in. And it's also very dangerous when someone who knows God and knows his son, Jesus Christ, and decides he's not going to accept Jesus. Those who've never known Jesus, they're open to God's mercy and love and God's invitation. For those who've known Jesus and reject him, that's where we get dangerous. And that's a challenge in all of our lives. Our past is not nearly as important as our future. I love the quote that says, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. That future is bound up in our desire to be part of the wedding feast of the King. That future is bound up in our desire to please God and the way we live our lives and the way we treat other people and the way we conduct ourselves and the things that we come to value in our lives and how we place those priorities in our life. What's more important, your success or being pleasing in the sight of God? What's more important, being able to actually know that God has forgiven me, or our foolish pride that says I was right to do it because you would have done the same thing? Both of us would have, but that doesn't make it right. And so today's parable, it's about the good, the bad, the ugly. It's about all of us, and we're all invited. Don't ever give up on the mercy of God. Don't ever doubt his ability to forgive. Right before he died on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. We've not done anything that bad. Open yourself to his mercy and always long to please God, and get ready one day to celebrate the wedding feast of the King. Thanks for being with us. May each day bring you closer in your walk with the Lord. God bless. Hi, I'm Father Jeff Bayou from Closer Walk Catholic Communications. Thank you for being here today, and a special thanks for the support that you give us. First of all, your prayerful support we so desperately need, and also your financial support. We are donor-driven, and that is what keeps us on the air today. As you well know, the truth is in great demand and in very short supply, and mainstream media is not going to bring you the truth of the Gospels of our Lord Jesus Christ because that's not socially acceptable and it's not politically correct. Certainly we all realize that when this life journey's over, we don't stand before the Supreme Court, we stand before the throne of God. Therefore, with great clarity and great charity, to pronounce the truth of the gospel is important. Your prayers, your financial support enables us to do that. So we thank you, and may God bring you closer in your walk with the Lord each day. God bless you.
trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select 2023 Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
The spinal cord is the vital messaging system from the brain to the rest of your body. And when this network of nerves is interrupted, pinched, or damaged, neck pain and numbness in the arms and legs are the warning signals. Headache and Pain Center's non-surgical, non-invasive treatments are available now. Surgery is not always the solution. Let's talk about your options and free yourself from pain.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering healthcare to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
Domestic violence is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? The Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office is dedicated to ending domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women. If you are a victim of abuse, call the Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office at 873-6500.
There are so many reasons to buy your next new car from AJ Doman Chevrolet, but don't take our word on it. Hear what our customers have to say.
Recently, I purchased my 4th vehicle from AJ Doman Chevrolet. Why? Because they build relationships here.
Their service team has kept my vehicles running like new, and their sales team has done things for me that I never expected from a car dealership.
AJ Doman Chevrolet, serving the area for over 38 years, at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
How do you think you've elevated your game from last year to this year so far?
I would believe, I would say I elevated my game of being more explosive. A lot of people ask me, what I was focused on and going into the season was to be more explosive, like, in the first 4 games that I've been having, first, 6 games that we didn't have, I didn't become more explosive and being that receiver that, is a go-to receiver right now.
League, would you say with the recent string of impressive performances that it's easier to get going with the confidence boost, or is it a little bit harder as the defensive attention increases?
That's a very hard question, but I would say it's kind of pretty bit easier. I know, me and Jaden, we be on the same page a lot, especially with different reads or my confidence going early on in the game. I come prepared, every game. I know I'm going to be expecting double coverages. So, it's about, helping my other guys get the ball.
And speak about the development of Brian Thomas Jr. this season. What have you seen from him, and how have you reacted to it?
A tremendous